We're back in the carpentry lab today for this video, and in this one I'm going to be showing you guys how we constructed this classic timeless paneled wall that you could really put in any space. We're doing this of course with the WindsorONE lineup of moldings. It's a simple construction, so let's get into it. The first piece we're going to install for this paneled wall is what's called our bottom rail. We're going to do this with a 1x8 and we're going to elevate it off that floor just enough so that when we put our baseboard molding on top of it, it gives us the proper reveal that we're after. You'll see this later. The next piece that we're going to put in is called our mid rail. This is going to go between the bottom rail and what will come later as the top rail. We're going to get this leveled off so that our chair rail sits right in the middle of it. And our chair rail is going to be this molding here. This is the WOCM003. This is a nice casing, but I'm using it as a chair rail in this case. So we're going to get this installed right in the middle of our mid rail there. And the reveal I was talking about on the baseboard is the same reveal that's going to be showing on that mid rail after that chair rail goes in. And last but not least, you guessed it, the top rail. This one is determined by our crown and the coffered ceiling, and we'll get into that in a future video, but the layout is going to be the exact same. So here's what we look like with our bottom, mid, and top rail installed. Next is going to be our stiles. Our stiles are the vertical members of the paneled wall, and we've got these laid out so that the seams of our plywood backing get covered by the stiles. Notice as we put our stiles on, you're seeing those seams of the plywood disappear. And that's another thing I highly recommend is you don't really want to put this right over drywall for a look like what we're going for here. You want to use some kind of plywood backing. And we'll use a laser to line up the bottom with the top. I'm just shooting this with 18 gauge brads here for the sake of demonstration, but an actual field install, I would assemble this, glue it, and use a finish nail to actually secure it. We're going to add this molding here. This is the WOBB002, and this stands for WindsorONE Backband 2. And this Backband 2 is from the Greek Revival line of moldings. We're going to take this and we're going to install it inside every panel. And you can see it gives you that nice break. It breaks that hard edge. It gives you that shadow line and just really sets off and makes each panel pop. And it's not ornate, it's not elaborate, doesn't have a lot of movement, and that's what you'll notice about Greek Revival architecture in general. It's no different with the WindsorONE Greek Revival line. Now if you didn't want to add this Greek Revival molding, or any molding for that matter, say you have like a more simple style, you don't have to add anything in these panels. You can leave them as they are, and they would be what we call like a board and batten, or some people call this shaker, where it's just these clean lines, and that's totally fine too. It's simply all just personal preference. But to add these moldings really isn't that big of a deal. They're just 45 cuts. We glue each end and then we snap them into place. But it's all just in what the client, or you if you're doing it for yourself, wants to do. But I personally, for one, as a trim carpenter, am a little biased, and I like to show off some awesome profiles like you see here. So I've got this first panel in, and you'll notice the way I do this, I like to put the small pieces in first, and these larger ones that have some flexibility to them, I'll put them in. I don't have any glue on this one, but I'll put glue on each corner, and then I'll flex it in. You can see that kind of like resistance there. You don't want it too crazy where you're like forcing it in, but how it just gently has that kind of like tension on it. With the glue and everything, as you put this in, it really locks everything in together. Guarantees you're gonna have super tight miters, which is what really shines in the carpentry. When you can get all this stuff, all your cuts on point, have that little pinch fit where it's a little tension there, get it shot in, that's really what's gonna set one of these installs off. So I'm gonna throw some glue on this one and do exactly that. Look at the before right here of just your plain board, which is, again, it's another style, it's fine. But look at what this does when you wrap around with these two moldings. Look how that style just softens and it looks just super awesome. I love the way that that deep cut on that backband molding creates that really heavy shadow line. And this thing looks super, super duper strong now. I'm a more traditional guy myself. I like the actual moldings. So I'm drawn to this style more rather than something that's just more plain. But to each their own, but I mean, that just sets that off right there. So there you can see also a before and after. We've got all of our top panels with the panel molding in, none of the bottom ones yet. There's a before and at the bottom and an after at the top. And our final molding to complete this install is our baseboard molding here at the bottom. Notice the reveals I was talking about earlier are the same on the chair rail and the base as shown on the stiles and rails. And this is the WOBM001 1 3/16 by 7 1/4. Awesome piece. So there you have it, a classic paneled wall using the Windsor line of moldings. We did shoot some primer on this to kind of show you guys a more finished look. It doesn't have all of our dirty fingerprints on it. And I think it looks amazing. We've got our wainscot representing our pedestal, our tall panel representing our column, and then we did get into our crown up there, and we're not going to get into that in this video because that is in relation to the coffered ceiling that you see above me, and that's going to be the next video out of here, which I'm really looking forward to. But this space and using these moldings, using this clean millwork, it just feels so inviting. And it's funny because we're here in this kind of like warehouse environment. I want to take all this stuff home with me. It's looking good. Love it, and just stay tuned for that coffered ceiling in the next one, and that's when we'll see you out of here again.